resilient effort by our team. Didn't start off very well. Everybody hung in. TJ McConnell gave us a great lift when he came in the game because we were struggling to score. He got to the rim a few times, and it really boosted our energy. And from there, we just hung in. I thought Isaiah Jackson's putback at the end of the first half was huge. We got it to three-point deficit, and then had one of our better third quarters of the year, which we needed.
Rick, 97 allowed is the fewest you guys have conceded in a game this year. What stood out to you about your defense and what you guys have done before?
Well, there just was a level of determination that we needed to have. And even in the first quarter, when we were struggling to score, we held them to 24 points. And so, that's a number you can work with, even if you're having trouble getting the ball in the basket. So, everyone was committed to sitting down and trying to keep these guys off the rim, out of the paint as much as possible. And then I think our rebounding picked up in the second half. They had a lot of offensive rebounds first half, not nearly as many in the second half. So that was a big key as well.
You talked about your offensive start. You turned to Obi and TJ right then, and you mentioned TJ already. But what did you think of what Obi did, and why did you turn to those guys earlier than normal in that first quarter?
I don't know that it's earlier than normal. Well, it's early for TJ, but look, these are all playoff games. You need your best competitors in the game as early as possible, and as much as it's important to watch everyone's minutes that they don't go crazy. I mean, TJ only played 11 minutes the other night against Minnesota, and we needed him tonight. And actually, truthfully, it was hard getting him out of the game. He was playing so well. So I'm a big believer in involving the bench early, and we needed everyone tonight.
A big part of what I'm sure went right for you guys in the third was the fast break points. I think you had 12 in that quarter, so that's defense turning into offense. But what did you like overall about just how the offense worked better? What do you think you guys figured out over the course of time after that tough first quarter?
Well, we figured out that if we get stops, we can run. And we're a very good running team, and that's well documented. What we needed tonight was a much higher level of determination than we had in the previous two games against these guys. And look, we're a different team now, a much different team. Last time we played these guys was well before any of our major lineup changes and so on and so forth. But look, we're banged up, they're banged up. It's that time of year. And so we just needed a high level of determination.
Coach, what was it about that first quarter where the team was struggling offensively? Was it something that the Magic were doing, or was it mostly self-inflicted?
We had some good looks, but they're always physical. They're always going to defend well. They're consistently a top 5 or 10 defensive team. Game to game, week to week, month to month, and so you've just gotta get ready for that kind of contact and collisions and all that kind of stuff. So it's a hard game to referee. I thought the referees did a very good job in the end. It's just that both teams were upset about certain things that were going on, but in the end, I thought they did a really good job with it because there's a lot on the line in all these games. A lot of emotions, a lot of meaning, a lot of stuff in the standings. So it's they're all big.
How's Sticks? Obviously, he was out.
Don't know. Well, what did the injury report say?
Illness, questionable. Yep.
Yeah, he just didn't feel well like right before the game, and then was out. But Isaiah was ready, did a lot of good things, and so look, this is the theme of the season. Really, is pretty much next man up, and so Isaiah was there, and then when we needed to go with smaller lineups. Pascal and Obi at 4-5 was something that worked out for us tonight. So those were a lot of good positive things.
What do you like about those units with both TJ and Tyrese together?
I like that they've been very good, and it just speaks to the kind of player that both of those guys are. But both of them have to adjust significantly to play with one another, because when they're on the floor as the point guard, they're both used to having the ball not all the time, but the majority of the time. So, there's a give and take there, but there's just an understanding that our team needs what every single player brings to our team, and so we've got to find a way to bring out each other's strengths from top to bottom.
What's going to look different for the bench without Benedict for the rest of the season? You guys did well without him tonight, but what do you think is going to be key there?
Yeah, we're gonna miss Ben. Obviously, it was tough hearing that he was out for the season, but we definitely have a really good bench. Our depth speaks for itself. Everybody on our team is capable of coming into the game and changing the game, and it's just next man up mentality. But we're gonna miss Ben.
How important was the spark you guys got from TJ?
Yeah.
When you had 2 points when he comes in the game, it's going.
Yeah, TJ does his job very well. He understands what he brings to the game. For us, and he just goes in there and has fun, runs the floor very well, and just does his job.
You addressed this before.
Yeah.
How much of the scout was making Apollo a jump shooter? Because some guys are going under all the screens, trying to bait them into taking those shots and living with the result. That's what helped you get out.
Yeah, I don't think we was going under any screens, but we were definitely switching like a 1 through 5 type of defense. But like I said, both Jenny and Jen did a great job scouting these guys, and it helped us tremendously in this game, and that's why we got the win.
As a defensive anchor, 97 allowed the lowest you guys have had all season. What stood out to you about what you guys did on the end of the quarter?
I think the second half we just flipped the switch. We locked in. The third quarter was obviously the big break for us. I think everybody started to get right, and we just kind of fed off each other's energy.
What do you think you guys did about just making their guys working with Carlisle? I think it's like 5 for 14 or something like that. Wagner had to work for his. How important was it to keep each of their big guys from to have overtime scoring?
Well, yeah, they're one of the better teams that get into the paint and finish at the rim. So we're trying to make an emphasis. We knew we were going to get there, some, but we're trying to make an emphasis to try to, cut that down some. They're a physical team, and they tried to assert themselves. But I think, like I said, we did a good job of taking on the challenge and getting things done.
When you said you try not to standings watch this late in the season, but did you know how important this one could be with them, given how close it is?
Every game from here on out is a playoff game, man. They're all important. I just think that you can try to look at the standings and try to get help, but if you win games, you have all the help you need right there when you take care of business.
Obviously, a big piece of what went right in the third quarter was turning defense into offense. I think you guys had like 12 points in the break in there and got a lot done in transition. But what else do you think you guys did well to just fix things offensively if you had some struggles in the first quarter?
I think we just fixed our mindset. I think we settled a little bit too much in that first quarter. We started to get downhill, we started to get out in transition. I think TJ really came in and gave us some new life and led the charge there, so that was big. Obi had a big game as well, and you can go down the line, but those guys in particular really got us going.
You obviously mentioned TJ, and obviously he does stuff like that all the time. Just delve deeper. What was he just so good at today? Just
he's going to get to the shot. He's really good at. He's very deceptive. What he does around the rim, and I think that he's one of the better players in this league that doesn't get as much credit as he deserves. So I think he did a great job of just, like I said, taking on the talent, leading the charge. He's very vocal today. He's typically pretty vocal, but he's very vocal with intent today. And you can see the intensity and just like a flip switch for him. I think, like I said, he really got guys going.
How do you mean intent? What do you think he got across?
Just the importance of the game. You know what I mean? Like I said, we started off, BS in the first quarter a bit, and when he got in there, obviously, he did his thing. When he was on the bench, he was getting guys up. He was saying, guys, these games matter. It's a playoff game. This is the playoff game right here. And, it was. That style of play where it's very half court, and it's very slow. It's methodical. You're under 100 points. That's just how the playoffs typically are.
What's key to you about adjusting to that dynamic for the rest of the season, and what's going to be important?
It's a big loss. There's no secret there. He was very, very integral to what we were doing this year. I think he was just starting to find his stride, too. And, 16, 17 points a game, you can't just, make up for it like that, but you got to make up for it with our depth. We got to find a way just to pick up in lapses that he, provided for this team. And at the same time, it's an opportunity for guys. It's an opportunity for guys like Jairus to step in and get some big minutes. And, Doug, whenever he gets healthy, he'll be coming back and have an impact for us as well. So it's definitely it's tough for him. The team is one thing, but I think more so individually for him. A young player who's finally starting to find his stride a little bit. When someone who plays through everything, you know what I mean? I think it's just tough for him to sit back and watch. So just as a unit, as a team, we got to be there for him.
What do you think the most important strides he made this year were? What were the biggest areas of growth for yourself year 1 and year 2?
His way of reading the game. He's a very offensive-minded player, but we asked him to defend at a high level this year. I think there was times where he did that. I think his vision got a lot better. He started getting guys more involved. He started opening up offense for himself. He's making big shots. Same things he was doing last year, but just with more experience. And I think that the future, the skies are so high for him. The future's very bright for him. So.
You checked in the first. I think these guys have 2 points. Just what were you just thinking, just in terms of what you got to do to get the energy started and find something going offensively?
Yeah, I feel like our job, I tell you guys all the time, it's like the second group is there to just insert energy, and especially when we need it. So we kind of came together as a group and said we needed some energy and just go out there and change the pace of the game and get us going.
Go ahead.
I thought he had one.
When you and Obi came out, it looked like a nice moment where you kind of gave him whatever your handshake is, but you two specifically, the connection that you guys kind of had off the bench.
Yeah, he's easy to play with. The guy gets out and runs better than anyone I've ever seen, and it creates so much energy and disadvantages for the other team that, it's, like I said, it's just easy to play with. His ability to run the floor and, the first guy back, especially that Cole Anthony play, Cole Anthony had to pick him up, and Obi's 6, 7 inches taller than him, so I just throw it up, and he goes and makes my life a lot easier. So it's an easy connection to have because he can go get the ball up by the rim, or his cutting and his ability to run and shoot the ball. He's a great player.
They obviously only scored 97. You guys made all their stars work, Paolo, Franz, and everybody. What did you like defensively start to finish? Obviously, they kept you in there when you guys weren't making shots.
Yeah, just making it as difficult as possible. I feel like the first 2 times we played them, they just got whatever they want, and the score showed that. They beat the SHIT out of us both times. It wasn't close, so it was a concerted effort, from the coaches and us to lock in and just make things as difficult as possible and try to be physical.
I think Myles was saying, he said you were vocal with intent today. I imagine you usually are, but it seemed like you were really making a point to get it across to people just how important today was. What was kind of the message that you were trying to get across, and how did you try to do that?
I feel like where we are right now in the season, they're all really important. So just taking it one game at a time and being locked in for the full 48, that's just the message that I'm trying to send across. And that's the message we all are sending to each other, just to be locked in for the entirety of the game. And because, at this point in the season, all of them are really important, especially for where we're trying to go.
What do you think you guys figured out in the third? How much of it was just defense into offense? And, what else do you feel like you figured out offensively beyond just running because you had runouts?
Yeah, I feel like when we lock in defensively, that leads us to the thing that we're most elite at is transition. And we were locked in on that end and got some steals, and we were able to get out and run, and it opened the game for us in the third.
What to you is important about No Benedict for the rest of the season, keeping the second unit scoring at about that same level?
Yeah. Obviously we're going to miss him a lot and, wish him a speedy recovery. But it's a group effort thing. When a guy like that who can really score the ball at an elite level goes down, everyone has to kind of step up.
Going into a game like this, do you think about the standings at all? Do you try to ignore it? How do you think about that in the context of a race like this?
Yeah, I think that where we are right now and how close the race is and how impactful every game is, I think that you have to approach games just kind of one game at a time. Obviously understanding standings and stuff like that, but I feel like we were kind of hyper-focused on that a couple weeks ago. And we just got to understand we got to take it one game at a time, one day at a time. So obviously it's a team that has our tiebreaker, a team that'll be right there with us till the end. And I think more importantly, a team that's beat us twice at home. So, we need to return the favor and just play harder than them today. And I feel like we did that.
97 allowed is the lowest you guys have had this year. What stood out to you? What you guys did defensively?
A lot of different guys contributed. I thought Myles was amazing protecting the rim. I thought he did a great job of coming down and helping rebound, but also, blocking shots on the backside. The way they play is so rim-oriented, so we just made a big focus on protecting the rims, having a tight paint, kind of spraying out, just keeping guys in front. I thought we did a good job.
You guys obviously figured it out offensively in the third quarter, but just how much of that was just the fact that you were able to get running because you were getting a lot of stops? Was there anything else that you guys feel like you figured out offensively in the period just beyond being able to run?
I think the biggest thing was just playing Pacers basketball. Like, I think the style of the first half, because they had the lead, we let them dictate the pace. And when we were able to get stops and get a lead in the third quarter, we then dictated the pace. And when we're dictating the pace of a basketball game, we're really hard to play against. And there's not many teams out there that want to play our style of basketball, getting up and down that fast. So I thought we did a good job of getting stops, getting out and running.
TJ and Obi play and getting that pace going early.
Our bench has just been amazing all year. So those two guys are a big part of that. Obviously, losing Ben is huge. And hoping for, a good recovery for him and that he'll get back good for us next year. But I think that our bench has done a really good job of bringing energy. And when stuff got bad there early in the game, another bad start, we still got to figure that out. But I thought TJ and Obi did a great job of bringing energy.
You and TJ have spent more minutes together on the floor, recently. What do you like about that combination? What has to work to make it work? Obviously, you're spending more time off the ball regardless of who you're with.
Yeah.
But what makes that click, as far as two guys that are used to having the ball in their hands?
Yeah, I think for the biggest adjustment is just playing off the ball more. Obviously, I'm a guy who plays on the ball so much, but with TJ on the floor, we like him to handle it, when I'm in the game, because I think that it allows me to move off the ball, kind of set a lot of go screens and become, I think use my shooting ability. Obviously, I haven't shot it well, but use that to kind of have defenses focus on that to give him space to drive. So I think it's something that he's been pushing for all year. So now that we're kind of forced to do it with numbers and stuff, I feel like it's been good.
Behind the back pass there, up 9. That just show the connection you're developing with Pascal. You can trust him.
I should have laid it up, honestly. If I knew he wasn't gonna make it, I should have just laid it up. But it's just ever growing connection there. We don't have a lot of time, but we're still figuring it out. You see a lot more 1-4 pick and roll between us, figuring out how to attack that with the way defenses are guarding us and stuff. So I feel like we're doing a good job.